Start.
Okay.
Okay, for our morning interview, we will join by the World Games bound kickboxer and Muay Thai artist who will aim for a medal finish there in the World Games this coming July in Alabama. Let me welcome to our program Ms. Leeana Bade, all the way from California. Good morning from the stateside, and actually, it's already morning in the Philippines. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Kumusta po kayo? How are you guys doing so far there in the United States?
We're doing good. Yeah, I mean, everything has been, it feels like things are kind of going back to normal with the whole, I guess you could say, COVID situation. And I think it's kind of the same for the Philippines, if I'm correct, right? Things are kind of going back to normal out there as well.
Yeah, the COVID-19 situation here in Manila, it's going back to the, let's say, the new normal because we only have
Yeah.
small small new COVID-19 cases there. So
Yeah.
why did you choose combat sports like kickboxing or Muay Thai instead of basketball, where your father and sister own their skills? When did you start involved in the martial arts?
Well, I mean, like my sister, we both started basketball at a young age, and I I didn't realize till I reached the intercollegiate level, because I played at Sonoma State here in California, that I really wasn't as passionate about basketball as I thought I was. I enjoyed like the games and like um I enjoyed the games and like the winning aspect of it, but overall I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. But I kind of have always wanted to go into combative sports. And I got into a boxing club 3.5 years ago at San Jose State, which is another college that I attended. And I didn't really like how it was ran by the coach, so I quit like a month after joining. And then I joined a kickboxing gym, which actually was teaching Muay Thai. And ever since then, I just fell in love with the sport, like every aspect of the sport. I enjoy practicing and getting better every single day, and I enjoy fighting and getting in the ring, and just the whole process of it all. And it's a different passion that I have for Muay Thai than I did with basketball. So it's fun to me. I love it.
Is your father Chris, who played in the PBA before and the national team, and your sister Gabby, who once wear the Gears Philippines women jersey. I remember Gabby played in the Jones Cup in 2019. Considered as an inspiration in your journey to represent the country, not in basketball, but in a different sport like the combat sport of Muay Thai.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially, I think even before my sister um, joined the national Philippines team, I've always wanted to represent the Philippines in some way. And I'm glad that I was able to find it through Muay Thai. And yeah, it's my home country. So it's a really big honor, a great honor to represent my home country. So
Before you accepted the offer of playing for the country for Muay Thai, I think you have been qualified for the World Games as a wild card. Could you share with us your amateur career in Muay Thai? So far, if I could correct, you have been undefeated with a 6-0 record in the amateur fights. And just
mhm.
you won a fight last January.
Yeah, so yeah, February. Well, I guess you could say I started my amateur Muay Thai career just last summer, and I actually did a tournament. It was called TBAs. It's the biggest Muay Thai tournament that's held in the U.S. And I fought 3 times in that tournament. Won the belt in my weight class for my class level, and I believe it was a month after I had my first Muay Thai fight with no shin guards or knee pads or a headgear. and so it was my first full rules Muay Thai fight. And yeah, I won that fight too. And then I think in December, yeah, December was when I had my fifth fight, and I won that fight too. Won my second belt as an amateur, and then my most recent fight, which is back in February, which is my sixth fight, went into full 5 rounds with a very tough and game opponent who's had more than twice the experience that I have in Muay Thai. Um, she was 8-2, I believe, and I was 5-0 going into the fight, but I had won with the unanimous decision in the fight, and so won my third. But that's just kind of the gist of, and I'll be defending that same belt that I had fought for in my most recent fight.
This morning, Manila time, on our Sports on Air weekly program, which I am part of it, we spoke with Ma'am Pearl Malagilod, the Secretary General of MAP, and she shared a story on how did it discover you, how did they discover you to become part of the Muay Thai national team and to qualify for the World Games? Maybe you can share with us on how do you recruited by them to your dad, Chris? Is it through message interview or sending videos to your coach back in the Philippines?
Yeah, so what had happened was my dad, he on Facebook, he had posted a highlight video of my fourth fight as a Muay Thai fighter, amateur Muay Thai fighter, and someone that he had met while playing professionally for basketball in the Philippines had liked that video, and I guess I'm not entirely sure, I forgot what her name was, but she had worked for the national committee team for the Philippines, and he reached out to her and was like, hey, like my daughter, her dream, she's really passionate about Muay Thai and she would love to fight professionally one day. And so and I know she'd be really happy to represent the Philippines. Like you guys should go check her Instagram page out. And so basically she had my father and Pearl, I guess, meet through Facebook. And then Pearl had found me through Instagram through my dad. And she had followed my Muay Thai career afterwards for a couple months. And then that's when she finally reached out to me and asked me to join the national Philippines team.
By the way, that commissioner that you mentioned is actually Ramon Fernandez.
Oh, okay.
This is the commissioner of the PSC right now, and he Chris Bates' teammate in the PBA.
Okay, there we go.
All so, right. Yeah. And then you will be competed in the World Games, the women's 63.5 kilograms. And despite, I think you're being told right now, and considering that you are one of the strongest contenders for the medal, so conditioning-wise, training-wise, and how do you see the progress of your training for the World Games? Only 4 months away from the competition.
I think training-wise, what I'm really gonna focus on is my conditioning, because this will be the first time I'll be fighting 3-minute rounds. I've only fought 2-minute rounds as an amateur, and so I think just focusing on my conditioning and also just all my strong suits as a Muay Thai fighter, just focusing on the basics and the my strongest techniques and just improving them and getting better at them every single day. And also my weak suits as well. So those are just a few things that I'm going to focus on during this during my training camp for this tournament.
How do you keep yourself fit physically and mentally before this huge competition that you join in?
I would say physically, I'm training like literally every single day. Like even if I'm not doing a vigorous exercise or training session, I'm always doing something to keep myself physically active. And just mentally and emotionally, just just reminding myself that I did whatever I could to deserve a spot in this position, and I know I can compete with all these fighters as well, and just constantly giving myself that confidence and being confident in myself, and that I've worked hard to get this position. So
And when you're training here in the States, did you already send videos of your training programs to the coaches based on in the Philippines? And how do you see it that your training will be fully intense in the couple of months before?
yeah, I'm prepared for that. I haven't spoken with the coaches just yet. I know I'm meeting with Mom Pearl this weekend, and so I think we'll go into more detail in what specifically I guess the Philippines coach wants me to focus on in the fight, and just um, obviously adding what I want to focus on specifically as well. And so, but yeah, I know that that training is going to be intense. Had multiple. I've had six or five fight camps for all six of my fights, and so and they've been really intense. But after each fight camp has each fight camp, it's been a lot more intense, and it's improved a lot more, or I've improved a lot more in each fight camp, and so I'm just prepared for an intense and vigorous training camp for the next couple months. But I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I like being in fight camp to prepare for my fights.
Too early to discuss the medal projections, but I just wanna ask: are you excited to team up with a world champion in the name of Philip Delarmino, who took home 2 gold medals in the World Championships last year? Did you manage to talk to him because he will also preparing for the SEA Games in Vietnam this May? And also we have athletes from triathlon, karate, jiu-jitsu, powerlifting, and others, and billiards. By the way, we will competed also in the World Games.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that I get to compete with such. Let me see. Sorry. All right, do you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, no, I'm really excited that I'll be able to compete and join alongside a bunch of high level athletes for different sports at the World Games, and especially my teammate for Muay Thai, Philip. I've seen his fight videos, and he has a lot of credentials, and he's really good. So I'm excited, and I'm honored to be fighting alongside with him. So
By the way, Philip will be playing on his second World Games stint because he previously competed in 2017.
oh, okay.
Okay, so aside from the upcoming World Games, are you eyeing also to qualify for the Asian Games in China and even the next SEA Games held in Cambodia?
Yeah, heck yeah. Whatever I can qualify for and compete and represent the Philippines, I'm all for it. Um and yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Do you have plans to come to the Philippines to join their training camp there, to visit your relatives and have a taste of their Filipino culture and hospitality?
I'm I would think so. I have to speak with Mom Pearl and see what she and the coaches, the Philippines coaches wants to do. I know I believe she had mentioned that there is a coach from the Philippines Muay Thai team that is resided here in California. So if not in the Philippines, then I think I will be training with that coach.
Why are you ecstatic and proud on your lifelong dream of competing and playing for the Philippines, for the Philippine flag, being a second generation athlete that your father and daughter also played for the country before?
Oh, sorry. Are you asking me why or if I am excited?
Yes, and it's ecstatic and proud.
Yeah, no, I'm for sure ecstatic and proud. I mean, I just when I was offered the I guess the opportunity to compete and fight at such a prestigious tournament, for not just not just to compete at this prestigious tournament, but to also do it for my home country. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I cried, my dad cried, my mom cried, and so I'm really excited. I'm very, very excited. So yeah.
All right, last question before we end this interview. How do you see
Mhm.
Muay Thai thriving in the Philippine sports landscape in the future?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You kind of broke off.
How do you see Muay Thai thriving in the Philippine sports landscape in the future?
How do I see it? Like improving or getting better?
Yes.
Um, I I s- I see it. I'm hoping because Muay Thai hasn't been, um, I guess you could say that big of a sport in other parts of the country, and I'm hoping that um, I can inspire girls in the Philippines to join the such a male-dominated sport, and um, yeah, I hope there will be more female Muay Thai fighters from the Philippines as well, and I see that improving a lot in the future as well. I see it here in the U.S. It wasn't as much even just a couple years ago, but it's been more prevalent. And so yeah.
With that, Lee, thank you so much for gracing our program. And before we wrap up, your final remarks and your message of support to the Filipino fans and to the new Filipino fans who will support you throughout the competition.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm really excited to be able to represent the Philippines at this prestigious tournament. And I'm grateful for all the support that I've been given so far and be given in the future for this tournament. And I'm excited. I'm ready to take home a medal for the Philippines. So
With that, Lee, thank you so much. And message me if you are ready for other updates in the World Games and your training as well.
got it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you. Bye bye.
much. Bye.